Did it work? There we go. Yep. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
I had a banana and a organic fit high protein weight loss bar. So I will be passing that unenjoyably in a few hours.
You mean in a half hour?
That's that.
Okay, so are we all back? Are we all good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. So, and with that fucking banana, show our viewers how phallic that banana is. That is That is wrong. That is wrong.
See, this is how we get demonetized.
Oh
so.
my god.
That's what M does mean, man.
As if the ovipositors didn't already get us demonetized.
Whoever tries to
now
we actively have to pay them.
Wait, guys. M, do that again. Stretch it out again for me real quick. Dhuur'in and Karn.
No. I was just saying earlier, whoever tries to get something with Fenkin is gonna have a taste of it.
Okay, so
Fucking hell, man.
Where we left off was with Ozla just pitched what to you guys was just a pair of scissors into the smelter. And I'm sure the guy who was working the smelter at the time, the White Dragonborn, is now like he's just straight gone inside. He's not coming back out.
He's getting ready to move.
In fact, like as you see, like the door closed, there's kind of an open close sign that on it, and you see his arm shoot out, twist it around, and then shoot back in, and the door lock. But yeah, as this is Fenkin, eventually Dudley Von Dudley lets you go, and you let down and breathe in fresh air for like the first time in what feels like a while. And when you look around, you see the scissors are gone. And you also see Ozla breathing heavily.
He looks to the ground immediately. Like as soon as he is let go, he tries to catch his breath, and then his eyes snaps to where the scissors used to be. And as soon as he sees that they're not there anymore, a panic surges through him, and he's just like, "Oh fuck, no!" And then he sees Ozla just a couple of steps away, panting heavily, staring into the smelter, and he's like, "Did you? What did you do?"
As she's panting, she sort of like just lets out one long breath and hears Fenkin's voice, and she comes completely out of it. And she turns around and goes, "You okay? You okay, Ben?"
He blinks at her a couple times.
Huh?
He blinks at her a couple times, like the scissors. What happened to the scissors?
I got rid of them.
You got rid.
Very
How did you?
vicious.
Did you touch them?
Yeah.
And you weren't you? Did you hear voices?
Fences can't talk.
This bitch.
He's having a minor meltdown for himself, sort of like.
Fenkin, if you want
She's like trying to lift his shirt, like, "Has your wound opened back up? Come here."
Stop that! That's indecent.
So
Stop being so touchy! Let me look!
So as this is happening, as Fenkin is like slapping at Ozla Highhill, there's you hear the sound of the guards approaching, and as you guys whirl around, you see the captain of the guard. He's like very confused. He sees the Galebok shaped crater in the side of the building. He sees plenty of blood on the flagstone, and he also sees you guys kind of like tending to Galebok and each other. And the rest of the guards, they're kind of like looking at each other too before the captain steps forward. He's like, Does anybody want to tell me the fuck happened?
Everyone
Well, not
just
all at once.
looking at each other in silence.
Also going to shield Gelvok with my body. Pull the like Haku and Chihiro thing where I'm like over top of him against the building.
Oh.
Fenkin just sort of like looks at him, looks very unwilling, looks at everyone else, and as no one speaks, he's like sighs and he's like, "The scissors. It was the scissors."
The guard, the captain kind of stops and looks at you. And he's like, sorry, can you run that by me again?
He looks at him as if he's talking to an absolute buffoon. And he's like, "The scissors!" And then he gestures towards the very beaten up Drow, and then Ozla, and then the smelter, and then Gesh, and then like, "The scissors!"
Just wildly gesturing.
Does he also gesture to Dudley, who's just in the back, like,
Yeah. So he's just as he gestures to Dudley, he does a pose. Like, himself, and then to Dudley, and then it's like, and then he just is back at the start.
okay. God damn it. So the captain kind of like follows your gaze as like you point to all the different things, as if expecting to like hear the whole story, but he doesn't. So he just kind of like sighs and he's like, "Fuck. All right. Where's Gale? Oh shit!" And he looks over to where Gelvok is being protected by both Gesh and Dhuur'in, and he's like,
his bodyguards.
The boys.
"So, the fuck happened here? Did you catch him? Fucking looks like it. Jesus, what did you people do to him?"
Thank you, just repeats, "The scissors."
Want to explain that they shot him with arrows.
As he says this, Gelvok comes to again, and he's like, "Sir."
Aw. Poor guy.
Yeah, so, not Gesh. I don't play Gesh. Dhuur'in will kind of look up. He's still very protective over his kin, and tell him, "We subdued him, and when the scissors fell, he forgot."
Forgot what?
Forgot that he had used them. He seemed confused.
Are you trying to fucking tell me that he was, I don't fucking know, an amnesiac or some shit? Is that what you're trying to fucking tell me?
Possessed.
Possessed by a pair of fucking scissors.
They erupted in, and he points over at the smelter, and he kind of, in the what's the word? He says it in undercommon. He's like, the word, the fire with a demon.
Max is just like looking at him, just like nodding, like yeah, it's true.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
Make a
But he
persuasion.
doesn't believe you.
Hold on.
One natural 20.
Why are you rolling so high this session?
Not me.
13.
13.
Ooh.
Okay. So the guard kind of looks at you, and he hasn't known you guys for a while, but he also heard about what you guys did down in Pride's Call, and despite the fact that you are a Drow, he also knows that this is a very weird situation in and of itself. So eventually he looks at Ozla, who if you remember, he interrogated earlier on in the game, and he says,
Uh,
"Is that fucking true?"
well, of course it's true. He said it.
He looks like he's about to say something else, but then he looks up over at Dudley and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Dudley, didn't realize you were here." And Dudley just like flexes in response.
You just didn't notice the guy flexing in the background.
He's just there.
And the guard asks, "Is this true what they're saying, Mr. Dudley?" And Dudley says, "Oh, absolutely. Oh, I saw the whole thing."
Fenkin would like to step forward again after he's collected himself a little more after everything, and he's like, "Remember how you said how we spoke about the oddness of the situation, the oddness of how such a normal man would become something so horrendous. Does it not make sense that it's not the fault with the person itself, but perhaps with the weapon?"
Look, I ain't gonna pretend that I know what's fucking going on here. And he kind of looks over at Galevok. I hired Galevok myself. I trained him myself. I know him. He's a good lad. I'm sure there's some good explanation. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you at your word. If it turns out to be wrong, I'm in a lot of fucking trouble. And you're in a lot of fucking trouble. But for now, just... You lot, and he points at the rest of his guards. Get Prophet Galevok on a gun and get him to medical services. We'll clean up here. And with that, a pair of guards kind of like look at each other and look at the dark elf who only very recently joined their ranks, and one that they clearly haven't trusted for a while. But they slowly nod, and there's kind of a sense of camaraderie as they make their way over to you guys. Not in an aggressive manner. Their hands don't even come down to the manacles at their belts. Instead, they very gently and gingerly help Galevok up, not as an outsider, but as a fellow Crown's Guard.
I'm still going to grab one of them by the wrist and say, "Treat him well."
The one you grab, hang on.
Uh-oh.
Okay, the one you grab is an orc, and he kind of he feels like,
Of course.
he feels like your hand come around at the wrist, and he's like, "Hey, don't fucking Jesus Christ, you're cold." Fuck. But he looks like he's about to mouth off more, but he sees the glowing, flickering green of your eyes, and he's like, "Yeah, no problem, yeah." And you watch as like Galevok is slowly carried away, and over the next hour or so, the Crown's Guard kind of like clear off the area, and cleaning crews come in to help kind of clean up the blood and all that. Eventually, though, you guys are kind of like taken off to the side and sat down for some medical attention of your own. Some medical Crown's Guard do come around to check any wounds and heal you up as best as you can. So you guys can go ahead and heal back up to your full HP. Gesh,
Yay.
I know you were looking for that.
Mostly Gesh, yeah.
Mostly Gesh.
I think only Gesh, actually.
Yeah, actually.
And eventually you guys are oh shit, who'd we lose? No! No, we lost my scones!
Oh.
How dare you?
Where'd she go?
She's gone.
She's my strawberry shortcake and she left. Ah, she's back.
She's back.
So are you, Sophie, you back? There we go.
Hi, it cut out.
So as you guys are getting cleaned up, you kind of see that there's life has sort of returned to this part of the city again. People are kind of like not walking into the scene of the crime, but they are kind of like peeking over, and there are guards, people keeping them back. Out of the crowd, you do see the familiar face of Claudia Sheed meeting up with Dudley Von Dudley, and off in the distance you see Dudley bend down and pick something up and set Kubo on his shoulder. And he turns so that Kubo can see you guys over the Crown's Garden and the rest of the crowd. And he very timidly like waves, but his eyes are wide in recognition, especially when he sees Gesh. But after that, the captain of the guard, the red tiefling, you'll remember, he makes his way over to you guys, his hand kind of resting on the pommel of his sword, and he looks at you and he says, you've done some good shit for us at this point, especially for the town of Zadash. Done me a favor, certainly.
Dhuur'in's looking pointedly at his hand on his sword.
Oh,
sorry. He sees this, and realizing how that looks, he kind of takes his hand away and kind of like puts him behind his back like that. So and he's like, I think you've well earned your pay, and as a little bonus, I'm not going to make you do any of that paperwork. I'll take care of that myself.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, I figured you enjoyed that. So you said it was a pair of scissors, eh? That he was using?
Scissors. Correct.
Was it the same scissors in the room that we found on the other body?
Correct.
And you said those scissors was found on the thread and needle?
Correct.
Wish I had a better picture of this. If you wouldn't mind, I'm a little busy here. I'll give you the keys to the thread and needle that we ascertained earlier in the day, and you can go have a look for yourselves. But beyond that, if the scissors are destroyed, as you said, case is closed in that regard. I really should thank you. You've done this city a good turn, and certainly the lives of my people and myself, we owe you that much. I didn't really introduce myself, did I? And he sticks his hand out to Dhuur'in.
He will.
It's a hard clasp as he shakes it, and he says, the name's Captain Amon Gus.
Fuck's sake!
again, one more time. Again with stealing. Again with stealing.
Just kill him now, please.
His name is Captain Amon Gus.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's what I thought you said.
My snipers have a shot, Connor. I'm gonna tell him to take it.
Do it.
I've done what I was put on this earth to do. Take the shot.
I have bravery.
You so fucking much.
Entire session to do that, haven't you? For anyone watching this not understanding why we're dying, it's because Connor has been sort of hinting at the fact that he was going to make an Among Us reference in the D&D sessions, and here we are.
Okay, can I say
Of course he'd be red. Red is always sus.
Can I say I'll be right back? Because I actually did just pee a little bit.
Oh, oh boy. That's some.
This has been the best game ever so far. This episode will go down in history.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh my god.
That was.
That is what 3 months of build-up will do for you. I have been holding like that ever since the red tiefling was introduced. Ever since the tiefling was introduced, I've been holding on to that.
Dash immediately let's just go to wherever the fuck we were going.
Oh my god.
Connor, you made me spill my tea.
My stomach hurts. Oh my god. Oh. Oh.
I made Sophie pee. I made M spill her tea.
You made me cry. Oh my god.
And the funny thing is, I'm not even British.
So that's what sex is like.
So then, about that one shot you were doing, maybe you want to take a... Oh, or...
Yeah. I'm the DM now. His name is still Amon Gus. Now he's a romance option.
You made me spill that tea again.
I mean, every NPC is a romance option. You guys just aren't you guys just aren't making those persuasion checks.
What?
Hey, I had Karn. I'm set for life until we meet another hot orc.
Hey, you've had your pick. Leave it for the rest of us.
You've had your pick.
Oh, hang on.
Sophie, you
Vinn
good now?
and Emma. I'm fine.
Did you find another pair of underwear?
Vinn and Em, you're frozen for me now.
Oh my god.
You guys have no idea.
Also,
You have no idea how long I was waiting for the delivery of that name.
It took me a second because you said Amon, and I was like, oh, Gesh, the Temple of Amon. And then you went Gus. I'm like, for fuck's sake. I was so ready to be like, Gesh Law!
I was caught up in the fact that he's an elf, and I was like, Amon, that doesn't sound very elvish.
Well, I still shook
he's
his
a
fucking
tiefling,
hand.
isn't he? He's a red tiefling, though.
Yeah, he's a tiefling.
Yeah.
Oh, then who was that?
Yeah, Captain's the
There were
guard.
There were two captains. The captain in Zadash is the tiefling, and the captain of the caravan was an elf.
Well, I shake his hand with my cold, bony, terrible handshake. It hurts. It hurts to shake his hand because it's so bony and cold.
It hurts mentally to
Gross.
just be here, but
He hears the whispers from the back of my brain seep into his skin.
He brings his hand back and like
Sucks.
kind of checks it, not because like he shook hands with a drow, but because like it honestly feels wet and he's a little worried that something came away in his hand. So he's like, yes, the city of Zadash and the Crown's God owe a great deal to the shepherds. In any case, if you have any wish to continue the investigation, I will give you the keys to the thread and needle. Do you have a leader among you? And he looks at Dhuur'in holding his hands out. He's like, yeah, all right, there you go. Yep. So, don't have the coin with me right now, but anytime you want to come back to the King's Hall, I'll get that all lined up and squared away for you. And I'll get a nice little pretty red stamp on your passports, and you're free to go from Zadash whenever you please. Once again, thank you all very much. And with that, he actually bows to you.
Ooh.
There were two guards kind of like beside him, and they both kind of look at each other, and they're just like.
Fenkin sort of puffs his chest out a little bit, like as if he had completely earned his
Ego
respect.
+7.
Yes.
Designated party leader, Warlock.
Anybody else saying anything or doing anything? Excuse me.
I mean, a grape.
Ozla finds a grape on the ground and she's like,
Immediately, just like, oh, yum, snack.
The keys?
When the captain calls, I think he leans forward and just like pats his head.
Nox is just kind of she looks perturbed. She rubs her hands together. They've taken away the Drow guard by now, right?
Yeah. Warlock has been taken to see medical services.
He's gone. Okay. She'll kind of look for a second in the direction that they took him away a while ago, and then she will look back to the guard captain whose name I will not speak into existence.
What? What's wrong with Amon Gus? Why don't you say Amon Gus's name?
I will not say his name. I dare not speak his name. She looks back at him and she kind of like lowers her voice a little bit and she says, "You will keep an eye on him, right?"
There's kind of a moment before he kind of realizes exactly what you're talking about, and he's like, "Absolutely, got my best man out, promise."
She just kind of nods her head, glances at Dhuur'in, and then back at the guard, and then she just kind of like gives like an okay, I believe you, I'll let it go sort of gesture, and then she walks away.
Anything you find at the thread and needle, any evidence or anything, please do bring it back to King's Hall. Other than that, you're free to go. So, once again, thank you for your services. And with that, you guys are free to either go back to the inn or go around the city a little bit, whatever you want. Go back to the King's Hall to collect your rewards, or go check out the thread and needle.
I say in first, take a nap so our spellcasters can get their spells back up, just in case. Threaded needle, then King's Hall.
Or we could go to Threaded Needle, ransack the place, then collect the reward from the King's Hall, and then just leave.
We need to take a nap.
Yeah, Fenkin has a question.
What's up?
We had arranged a meeting with someone. Is that going to happen, or should I remind you? The toy maker.
Right, the toy maker.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going
We all forgot.
I'm going to say that is also an option, yes, but I am also going to let you guys know that the notes that I had for that, the file got corrupted. So we can still do that. I just gotta rewrite it, but
Improvise.
I know it's a little more metagamey than I'm used to, but I'm just telling you right now. If you guys do,
That's okay.
I'm not gonna have anything.
That's okay. We can do it next time.
Next time on Game Room.
Sorry.
We could chill in for that.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to do?
I say nap first.
No.
Get down with a nap.
I mean, I have no spells left, so I'm down.
Okay. So it sounds like you guys are planning on heading back to the Leaky Tap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So as you guys kind of like split away from the crowd, you still see Dudley, Claudia Sheed, and Kubo kind of off in the distance, and knowing that they're kind of the proprietors and owners of the Leaky Tap, you make your way over to them, and there seems to be kind of a fuss from Kubo, and Dudley, confused, kind of like lets him down onto the ground, and almost dropping his doll, he runs all the way over to you guys, right past everybody else towards Gesh, and he just wraps his arm around Gesh's legs and just buries his face into his leg.
I guess just pats his head.
He looks up and there's just tears in his eyes, tears of very clear worry, because he was probably very worried about you guys when you were gone. And this is actually confirmed when Claudia makes her way over, smiling a very tired smile, and she was like, when he woke up from his nap and couldn't find any of you, he was very concerned about all of you. I'm glad to see you're all right.
Well, you need not worry, Fred. We're fine.
So with that, are you guys making your way back to the Leaky Tap?
Fenkin wants a bath.
Okay.
A bath.
So as Claudia Sheed leads you guys back to the Leaky Tap, and notices that you guys are also kind of a little grimy. She does make a point of telling you that there is a special bathhouse somewhere in Zadash that you guys can go and visit.
Bathhouse episode.
Bathhouse. Brothel.
So that's something you guys will have the chance to do in the future if you like. But for now, she leads you guys back to the Leaky Tap, and with the day coming to a close, and everybody quite exhausted and still kind of healing from their wounds, you sit down to a nice breakfast. Not a nice breakfast. A nice little meal, and you make your groggy way to sleep. So yeah, while I'll open this up to roleplay possibilities. Is there anything you guys want to do around the tavern while this is happening, intermittently?
Is there a bard in this tavern?
Yeah. When you guys arrive at the tavern, it's not full swing like it was in the morning. The dinner rush doesn't seem to be there this time around. There are like a few smatterings of tables that are full, and there is a band playing kind of discordantly in the back. But yeah, there is music being played.
Okay, there's a band.
Yes.
Come on, Nox, blow 'em out the water.
Okay.
Yeah, they're your flute.
Once they get there and they get settled, Nox is going to look at the band. She's going to look at the band for a second, and then she's going to kind of like go and sit at a table near them and watch them. And she'll kind of watch for a second, and then in the middle of their song, she's going to cup her paws around her mouth and yell at them, "Your lute is out of key!"
Wow.
So
Heckling!
Oh, really?
So
Just trying to make a
the band is
decent
made-
living. Jesus.
So the band is made up of about 3 people. There's an elf, like you said, with a lute. There's also kind of a half orc with kind of like a what's the
Vinn.
Hello?
Bass?
thank you, yes, like a kind of like a cello-like instrument almost. And finally, there's also a half orc pipist who's holding a clay pipe. And as you call out, the elf looks up at you, kind of like very insulted, then looks down at the lute and is like, "Oh."
turns a tuning knob.
And he does kind of like glare at you a bit, but he does eventually, and then he takes a practice strum and he's like, "Oh, all right, yeah."
She will raise her tankard that I assume she has, because she's probably ordered an ale like instantly as soon as she got here. She'll just kind of raise it a little bit at him and then sit back and continue to watch them.
The half orc, seeing this, kind of grits his teeth and points his flute at you, and he's like, "You're so fucking good at this. Why don't you come up?" Huh?
She was like in the middle of sipping, so she was like in the middle of throwing back a drink, and she kind of like raises her eyebrows and puts the glass down, and then she like points at herself in like a "who, me?" kind of very innocent gesture.
The orc is just kind of like,
She shrugs a little bit and then puts her hands up like, "Oh, okay, very well." Putting on like a very like meek sort of display, and then she will come stand up, brush herself off, make her way up there, and then she will point at his pipe and say, "Do you mind if I use that?"
"Fine, yeah, here." And he hands it over, and like
Yeah.
he steps off the stage, kind of grumbling, and makes his way over to the bar.
She takes it, she inspects it for a second. She makes a show of wiping off the mouthpiece on her shirt for a second. And then she lifts it to her lips. She gives just like she plays like a single note as if like testing out how it sounds. And then she plays a couple of notes. And then she jumps in to the song.
Okay, give me a performance check.
I will happily give you a performance check. I actually, weirdly enough, I'm not proficient in performance, which I don't know why. But I do still have a +5, so.
Oh.
Do I have a
You should be proficient in performance as a bard.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think it was one of those where I got to choose, and I think I chose persuasion instead because I thought I would be.
More of a conversational bard than a performance bard.
Yeah, but I get a +4, and then I have jack of all trades, so +5. But,
Oh shit!
Yeah, bards, man. Bards are pretty sweet.
Jack of all trades, fucking bangs, dude. But I might roll on that one, so let's see.
Mhm.
If she rolls on that one, she breaks the flute. Okay.
Fucking.
What did I say? I had a +5, +4, +5, 18.
Okay, all right.
God damn!
So,
That's right on the
as you kind of like start playing on the flute, you play a couple notes. You like a couple experimental notes, and the half orc he kind of thinks that's like all you can do. So he kind of like chuckles at the bar, kind of talking to the rest, talking to somebody at the bar. But then you start playing in earnest, and he's just like, And as the notes begin to play, you guys watch as Nox starts to really get into the groove of playing the flute, and the elf and the human playing the cello, they kind of look at each other, and they nod. They know exactly what to do, and they start playing along with you. They know exactly what song you're playing, and so as this beautiful music begins to play all throughout the tavern, with you leading them into a new form of like much better than it was before. You've taken in just a few notes, you've taken the discord of the original melody and you've made it into something perfect, to the point where everybody in the bar is watching now, and you don't know who starts it, but there's the sound of a stomping foot on the floorboard, and then some clapping hands, and soon everybody's stomping and clapping along to the beat. Even Kubo, who at this point is sitting on Gesh's lap, is just like, and Princess, who in Kubo's lap is also like, but yeah, with that, the night fades into revelry of musical merriment that the town of Zadash has likely needed for quite a long time in such turbulent times. And for just a few hours, heavy hearts that were burdened by a war, heavy hearts that were burdened by murder and poverty, are brought together. And just for a little while, nobody's a noble, nobody's a crown's guard, nobody's a worker, nobody's a merchant. It's all just people in a tavern, having a good time, having a good drink, and having a good laugh. All right. And as you guys wake up the next morning, you kind of come down for breakfast as per usual, and my brain just farted at itself. Wow. You can see
they had a long rest, right?
Yeah, you had a long rest. So go ahead and fill up all your spell slots, get all healed up if you weren't already. I can't imagine that Gesh was after that beating he took.
So he gets his key back, right? Oh.
Yep, you get all your key points back.
Yay!
My inspiration die back.
Could you imagine if that's how it worked? Just like, oh yeah, these are all the key points that you have to use until you level up.
Until you die.
And I used it in one fucking day.
Oh my god. But still, so you have a few. You kind of discussed the errands that you guys have to run today, as Claudia brings you the food. That's again still funded by what Captain Amon gave you guys. And so you have the choices of. Can my brain work, please? You can go inspect the Thread and Needle. You can do some shopping. What were the other choices I gave you? Someone help.
Going to the King's Hall to get our reward.
Right. Thank you. Going to King's Hall to claim your reward and your new fancy dancy stamped passports, so that your
And that house was another episode, or
yeah. We'll discuss that later. I'll hold a vote after this game.
Mm.
But so
okay, but before all that goes down, as they're all sort of, as we're all eating, breakfast, revelry, all that stuff, Gesh sort of taps Ozla on the shoulder and says, "We need to talk."
Me?
Yes, you.
Ooh. Oh.
I fucking love it when players do this. I fucking love it. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
We're ready.
So do you want to do this in front of the rest of them, or not?
Yeah, okay, let's go. And as she gets down, she looks back at Fenn, she's like,
What did you say?
what the fuck?
Like just sort of eyes between the both of them, and then raises an eyebrow at us. Like, do you want me to come with you?
She doesn't know what to do. She's like, help! Help!
Are you taking Princess with you?
Princess on Gash's lap.
No, that was last night. This is breakfast.
Right
now, Princess is on the table. His head kind of stuck in a mug, and he's asleep.
I think we just leave her.
Okay.
Him, even.
Fenkin gets up, stands up, puts his hands on the table, and gives Gesh a glance and says, "Do you mind if I tag along?"
I don't mind. It's whether she minds.
She doesn't mind.
I think we've discovered who is the top.
Fuck's sake.
And I was wrong.
Never what you think. I think it depends. What does Gesh look like as he says it? Like, is he really grim looking, or
Blue Dragonborn.
Shut up!
Yeah, he is being a bit more grim than. I mean, he wasn't really expressive before, but he is sort of a bit more grim about this talk that we need to have.
Okay. I think seeing his expression, Ozla turns to Fenn. Stay here. If I need you, I'll come get you.
Fenkin gives her a long look, but then slowly nods. Alright, and then he sits back down.
So Gesh,
Yeah, well, what's Gesh doing? I was just going to ask what Gesh is doing.
Sorry. Yeah, so Gesh sort of leads her out of the tavern. Goes to the side so the people can see them, but they're out of the way of anyone just walking by. And he sort of crouches down, or at least tries as much as a 7-foot Dragonborn can. And he just stares grimly at her. You're going to tell me who the drowned are right now.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh.
Bet she regrets looking at Fenkin now.
She's on there, she's like, Fenn! Also, like, sort of stares for a moment, and she like tilts her head, and she goes, why the fuck? Why do you think I know about them? I don't know what the fuck this is all about.
Either you're lying, or you're an idiot. Because no one could be tracked down by assassins and not know why.
Well, joke's on you, mate. I don't fucking know why.
I don't believe you.
You know you're getting on my bad side about this.
I don't care. Whether I'm on your bad side or your good side, what matters is everyone else.
Mm.
We've everyone around us in danger from these assassins, and you can't tell anyone a damn thing about them.
Because I don't know what the fuck they are.
I don't believe you're that stupid.
Well, I'm not, but why do you...
Connor.
Don't mind me, I'm just eating this up.
Ozla sort of like pauses, and she turns slightly, and she like looks at Gesh. She knows, and she says, "You make me so fucking uncomfortable. You know? It's so weird being fucking around you. Why did you have to get me on my own about this? Why? I don't know what the fuck they are. Why would I know what the fuck they are? I've been with Fen this entire time.
Because they're after you, and they want to. At the very least,
apparently.
sure you can't move. And that leads me to believe they want to kill you. So, I think that whoever these people are, they're able to infiltrate that whole group of guards and get in past all of us. And if that sort of thing happens again, and say, I don't know, we're separated from everyone else, or you're separated from everyone else, then there'll be no one to stop them from killing you, or using someone else to get you to go to them.
How do I say? Ozla, she sort of groans and like throws her hands up, and she goes, "Well, you know all about getting people on their own, wouldn't you?"
Yeah, I would. So,
You think I didn't realise you knew that information about, what was her name? The woman we went to see about the inheritance. You hide things. And you don't tell us. You hid that information about the woman, and you hid what you found at the bugbear.
I'm not hiding a group of people that will kill me from everyone.
I'm not hiding them at all, but you're hiding something. Where's the paper? I want to know what's on it. Right now.
You think you can make demands of me?
Oh god. I think I can do whatever the fuck I want in this situation. You want shit out of me, I want shit out of you. Give me the paper that you hid when we were at the Bugbear's cave and tell me how you got the information about the old lady. Or this conversation is done.
Oh. Guys, my butt is clenched so hard right now. So.
Oh, this is the moment I live for as a DM! Oh! I gotta go change my pants.
Even though I want you to know I love you. I love you. Please don't. I always get one.
I'm good. I'm alright.
I am clenching this banana so hard.
Soviet Womble just went live.
Gesh still just sighs heavily before getting out, pulling the backpack forwards, and rummaging through all the supplies he's got to bring out what she's asked for. Two bits of paper, one crumpled, one in still a note, like from the bugbear. Just sort of hands them over to Ozla. There.
I've been waiting for this discussion one! Because I know what the note says! Oh, come. Okay. Ozla, she like sort of snatches it. Right. And as she opens it and reads what's in the note.
Do you wanna read it out loud for us for those who don't remember?
What does it say again? I know exactly. I know what I'm thinking of, but like.
Hey, Ethan, would you mind sending her the letter text? It should be in your DMs.
Right. I'm not back here. But yeah. Yeah.
Vinn has left the game. It is now taken over by Vinn's cat.
Okay. Yeah. Just send it over. And the other note is the wife being all.
Okay.
I thought you said for a second. The other note is the wife beating one, and I was like, whoa, hang on, where?
No, for fuck's sake!
When did that come? What was that? Anyway.
No, but it's all crumpled up because he didn't exactly expect to have to give it to anyone.
That's fair.
Okay. Ozla takes a note with a snatch and sort of looks Gesh up and down. She's like, right then. And she opens up the crumpled note. And she's not very good at reading and writing. So she like sort of tilts her head and she's trying to like figure out the words, trying to remember her lessons. And then she says it out loud. 14th of Sinstar, 18812 PD. Tavali wasn't kidding when he said that his shimmer stout stuff was the strongest thing he'd ever seen. Seems like it was exactly what I was looking for to block out the voices in my head. Ever since the coast, I've not felt the same. I swear on every god there is, if I ever see that little prick Namfu, and as she says that name, Namfoodle, Ozla's hands clench into the paper.
Oh shit.
And she doesn't speak for a moment because all she's thinking about is that name. And then her hands start to shake with how hard she's gripping the paper. And she pauses and then looks at Gesh. And the corners of her eyes are milky white. And she says, why the fuck did you not talk about it?
It didn't seem useful.
Didn't seem fucking useful.
All it talks about is some person that we have to. There's some term valley to avoid. That's not hard to do without. It's not hard to do.
Then stop hiding your shit, Gesh.
Ooh.
You don't even know what this is, do you? Got no fucking clue.
Clearly, you know what. So instead of trying to shout at me, how about you instead tell me what this is, then?
I don't need to tell you shit now. I've got what I want.
Oh.
And joke's on you, I don't know shit about the drowned, even whoever the hell they are.
Then
You stay the fuck away from me. If you ever get notes like this again and you don't share it with us, I will rip your head off.
Oh my god.
I'd like to see you try.
Your family, guys.
Two angsty teenagers. And she just sort of like scoffs. And she wants to say, you saw what I did with those scissors, but no one saw. So she keeps her mouth shut. And she goes, not even a fucking thank you for saving your life. And then she goes to turn away and walk into the tavern.
Oh my god.
Wait, I missed. What was the last thing she said? Not even.
Not even a fucking thank you for saving your life.
Okay, so
Jesus.
as this comes to an end,
Jesus Christ.
you guys turn to see Gesh and Ozla making their way back to the table with a very indescribable tension between them, and you're all kind of wondering what's going on. But Dhuur'in, yes, you. You hear a voice in your ear, but this is not the voice of your patron. This is not the voice of your mistress. This is something warm. This is something soothing. And in your ear, as you feel a hand placed on your shoulder, you hear the words spoken very clearly and with a very heavy accent. Guards are in motion now. Now we just got to deal with. You ready for this, partner?
Vin's face.
And
Mysterious.
and as Dhuur'in turns around to see whose hand is on their shoulder, there is nobody there.
Oh.
And that is where we'll leave today's game.